Hey everyone, it's Squirtza, and according to this video, you guys seem to like it when I talk about horrible people. So, here you go, a sequel. Happy Halloween, everybody. Also, I'd like to take the time to give a thank you to Spectre for making me aware of some of the things that you'll see in this video, link to his channel in the description, along with a lot of my sources. Anyways, as I said before, I am Quartza, and in today's video we're going to delve back into the hell pit that is the Sappho drama. Now, where we last left off, we had gone over her video about quote-unquote coming out as a zoophile. Well, this time we're going to go over her problematic posts on Twitter along with her recent drama with another YouTuber combined with other things she's done outside of Twitter. So you know what, let's get started. Okay, so let's give a little recap on the whole Sappho situation, because there's people who have either not seen the first video, or simply need a quick little refresher on the whole thing, so let's get back up to speed. Sappho, aka Val, is a VTuber, and if you don't know what that is, let me put it into Quartz's terms for you. A VTuber, in most cases, is a weeb on YouTube or Twitch who does videos while having an avatar follow their movements at the same time as they do. So these are usually done on gaming streams. So these people usually use avatars based on anime characters or just generally popular characters because they know they'll strike a chord with those respective fan bases for easy donations or an easy fan base. Now, I said that this is what happens in most cases. Some VTubers can be good, but a lot of them are bad, like as Sappho. What exactly is wrong with Sappho, you may ask? Well, here's the thing. It's not because she's a furry, because I myself am a furry, and it's not because she's a woman, because what the hell. It's because, by her own admission, Sappho is a friggin' zoophile. For those who are too pure to know what a zoophile is, let's explain in Quartz's terms once again. A zoophile is a sick fuck degenerate who believes that being attracted to animals or screwing animals is perfectly okay and will use the same consent argument that pedos use as a way of excusing their abuse of a defenseless animal. So this basically is a textbook example of Sappho's behavior. So in the last video, we discussed her whole video on coming out, quote-unquote, as a zoophile, and dissected multiple arguments, from her comparing it to Stonewall, to blaming society, to trying to claim herself as an ethical zoo, which, by the way, that doesn't even exist, so don't even try and pull that with me. Anywho, we ended off the video after her argument about consent, which, by the way, is non-existent with animals, and after that, the rest of the video basically just went to a podcast, which I'm not going to expose myself to. Not yet, anyways. With the little recap out of the way, let's delve into Sappho's behavior as of late outside of her whole YouTube video. Alright, so before we get into the real juicy bits, we got to sort of address a few things first, such as, Sappho being a predator. Wait, what? Quote, because children are people, because laws are unethical, because inherent harm is a myth, because the state should have no business in people's love, brain development doesn't play a role in intelligence or ability, you can learn at any age, it's just that the longer you've been in the world, the more you learn, but consent is such a simple concept that brain development is nil in the scenario, and consent is an outdated framework. Anyways, unprompted sexual experiences, and other romantic ones at that, are not necessarily bad if both parties enjoy it. Okay, gonna have to hit a hard doubt on that shit, because children are able to consent for several fucking reasons, okay? They cannot consent. For one, their brains are not fully developed yet. This is why you see teenagers doing stupid crap. They are more likely to act on impulse because of their less developed brain. And secondly, there's a reason we have that quote-unquote unethical law, Val. It's because we want to make sure sick fucks like you do not take advantage of children. Now, someone who covered this topic more in depth is Spectre, which I will leave in the description below, and I'll just play a clip from that video just so you can get a sense of just the point I'm trying to make here.
First specimen reads, yeah, I think we should abolish consent laws because children can think for themselves anyway. Either way, if consent laws were correct, you shouldn't be able to consent until you're 25, because that's when the brain stops developing. My point is, consent laws are stupid, and children are able to say if they want to have sex or not. Okay. So no, children cannot consent. This is the reason why when people put themselves onto children in a fashion like this, we call it grooming.
So yeah, Sappho is pretty predatory, and she should probably be exterminated from the internet. And when I took a second look at that first screenshot, by the way, I looked more into her claim about her, stating that harm is a myth. Okay, let me repeat this story for the 420th time. I am a victim of, I don't even know what the hell to call it, but people say it's grooming, so let's go with that. You think I wasn't harmed by that, Sappho? You think I wasn't harmed by the fact that I was basically hypersexualized from a young age? People had me gather porn for them, even of underage characters. Hell, my ex was friends with a bunch of older teens, 2 full-grown adults, who roped me into that. And there's more people out there who have to live with the trauma that they endured from those experiences. Do not try to argue with me or anyone else that harm does not exist. Okay, rant over. Let's go on to the next thing, which is an account from a user named Matcha, who basically addressed some of the things that go on in Sappho's server. Quote, "Hello, my name is Matcha, and I'm very nervous to write this. However, I am under the firm belief that this is the right thing to do for the following reasons. 1. There are minors in the server, 16 plus minors, but still minors. Not in the NSFW spaces, but I'm generally concerned for the minors involved safely because since the topic of the server is recreational and therapeutic hypnosis, which I believe minors should not engage in. 2. Zoophilia and bestiality are crimes. I cannot stand idly by when I hold information that the main admin of the server supports zoophilia and supports podcasts such as Zooier Than Thou." Okay, before I get into the next part of this little first part, I will sort of take some time to explain what Zooier Than Thou is. Zooier Than Thou is just a zoophile podcast, which, yeah, I recommend you don't search up. Anywho, let's continue. With that being said, Sappho, known under the YouTube channel as Hypnotist Sappho, supports zoophilic acts and the zoo community. I have DM proof that I can provide over DMs. While I initially left the server over drawn feral and bestiality porn, after acquiring the knowledge that Sappho supports zoophiles, I need to post this. I was a mod of Sappho's Discord server, a public server to learn about hypnosis and hypnotism. The server is around 3 weeks old, and I became a mod due to a server drama where people were discussing the age limit of the server. I was under the firm belief that there should be no minors allowed, as I had seen and heard incidents over VC where people tiptoed around the line between SFW and NSFW in public non-NSFW chats. While the server checks your ID for you to check NSFW chats, I am under the belief that the server shouldn't have minors in the first place, as not only should minors not be in hypnosis spaces, but there were also many allusions to the lewd side of the server in public chats. For example, there was a role named Harem where people close to Sappho were in. Also, Sappho built some of their audience around the Hypnofurs Telegram group, a strictly 18 plus Telegram group. We came to an agreement that the server should be 16 plus, and that's how the server stands today. Alright, let me just take a breather. Trust me, there's more to this, but I want to give you all some time to potentially remove any lethal items from around your area, because trust me, when you hear about more of the shit that Sappho was done, yeah, just make sure that nothing sharp is around you. Now, coming from personal experience, those minors should probably get the ever-living hell out of there before they get groomed by whatever the hell Sappho's character is supposed to be. Along with that, the server focuses on friggin' hypnosis. Here's the thing, At the bare minimum, you need a valid certification along with passing a course on hypnotherapy in order to be qualified enough to practice it. The fact that this chick just flaunts it around in a Discord server, which, let me repeat, has minors in it, upsets me on several levels. But I'm rambling, let's just get on to the next portion. Quote, at the moment, I should have left the server. The reason why I didn't was that I felt like I could change it from the inside and help make the line between NSFW and SFW strong, as the server was very young when this had happened. Okay, before we get on with this, I will say that Matcha, if you are for some reason watching this, I just want to say that what I'm about to state is not meant to attack you. But you should probably know, you probably should have known, that there was no changing someone like Sappho if she not only thought that being a zoophile was okay, but also thought that having minors in a server with hypnosis and zoophile shit was okay. Then they're too far gone. And dear God, the things that we're about to get into in this next part of the screenshot. Quote, a week later, a NSFW chat was created known as NSFW Feral. NSFW Feral was for feral porn, which included drawn feral x anthro and feral x human. If you don't know what that means, it's basically animals with furries and animals with humans, which is disgusting. My views of feral aside, I realized I was deeply uncomfortable with some of the material I saw, which included a non-anthro dog raping a girl walking down the street in a non-con scenario, and a realistic drawing of a dog with a stick out. Now, I decided to leave the server. I wrote a letter of resignation and left, but something stuck with me. When the topic went to zoophiles, Sappho said something along the lines of zoophiles were misunderstood. I wanted clarification on this, so I reached out the night after everything had happened. To summarize the convo, she said she supports the zoophile community and that being attracted to animals IRL or doing the act isn't wrong. She also sent me a Zooier Than Thou podcast, which is something. I have caps of the full convo, but I'm just summarizing here because I don't want to make what I converse super public. Let me say up front that I will make no friends with this post and many enemies. I know that Sappho holds a lot of influence in this community, unfortunately, but I know that this stuff must be called out and put to light. This isn't a case of kink shaming, this is a case of bringing awareness to someone who supports illegal acts against animals who fundamentally cannot consent. Okay, so that was a lot to process, but we still have more of this segment. So to top it all off, let's take a look at some stuff from Kiwi Farms. If you do not know what Kiwi Farms is, it's like 4chan, but somehow not like 4chan. I know, it's confusing. Anyways, let's delve into a thread made by a user on the site. Quote, I have been watching this train wreck since day one, so here's some highlights about it, as well as other tidbits of info that have been shared around. 1. Her approach to finding people was very simple. She would sit in public lobbies as well as join off of people hanging out with others and then look for vulnerable people to target. And if you don't know what this is referring to, they're referring to the fact that just Sappho likes to hang around in public VR chat lobbies and look for people. She got very sexual very quickly, and a whole 2 of the countless people who have shared their experiences with her said he asked their age at any point during their interactions. She would go from person to person, going full deep throat moaning while making kisses noises, which she has tried to pass off as light kissing. She would target people who are interested in her persona, seductive... Okay, I cannot read that with a straight face. There can only be one person worthy of that title. Anyways, but they were too nervous to introduce themselves to her, then start love-bombing them with feelings that they didn't know how to process but wanted more of. Once she had someone, she would convince them to join into one of her sessions, and she'd give them all the affection in the world until she found her next target. People would want more attention, so they would try to get it from her, so she'd give it to them, the best kind of target, for a few days. She'd then start weaning them off the attention again until they wanted it so much they were willing to pay for a private session. So, not only is Sappho a predator and a zoophile, but they're emotionally manipulative, and they like to scam people out of money using this technique. I mean, dear God, is there no justice in this world? Quote, the owner of the Furry Talk and Chill VR chat world, Bandit, added everyone in his server about Sappho. Bandit would be good for the personal lolcows thread, but I'll save that for another day. The monkeys, VR chat skids, who have beef with Bandit have been going into public sessions of his VR chat world and crashing people for days because they're exceptional enough to attack the person trying to take down a zoo over previous beef. Most people who have interacted with her told her to fuck off, but some of her harem, there are minors with that harem role, and others have stuck around turning the Discord into a circle jerk of support. Anything that could be parsed as negative will get you banned. Oh gee, I wonder where I've seen that before. Now, they have a better dox than she believes they do. She's been reported to the feds with evidence that she ERP'd with a minor. I heard musings, there is recorded testimony. ERP with a minor normally isn't high on their priority list, but if I'm not wrong about her full-time job, rumors say she's unlisted, she will be a very special case put very high on the list. Her lead moderator is 17 and she knew he was in the Discord full of porn and zoo shit. They have a full dox on her boyfriend, who's a 46-year-old what? Okay, they're just a doll fetishist. Anyways, she's been laughing off everything while convincing people who still trust her that everything will be fine. I feel bad for the people whose brains have been so fucked up by the horny they do not know what to do besides stick by her, because she's the only person who ever made them feel things. The Discord is private for now. The Discord server has had some hidden Zoophilia channels, including #ZooMedia that you can find with a self-bot. Okay, so thank you God, somebody actually reported her to the feds, and oh no, more Zoophilia channels. Please, for the love that is all of, Mountain Dew and anime girls, please kill me. Next up, we're going to cover her recent beef with furry commentator Coyote Lovely. Coyote, as I will refer to him from now on, is a furry YouTuber with around 5k subs. His content's pretty good, but I know you all don't give a damn about video quality nowadays, so let's just get into the nitty gritty. About 2 weeks ago, Coyote posted a video on Sappho at the same time as her coming out video, or, maybe a little bit later than that. This video went more in depth on things like Sappho's behavior outside of YouTube and Twitter, such as her flaunting of her psychotherapy status and whatnot. Now, if there's one thing we can all agree upon, it's that when stupid people get called out, they'll be out for fucking blood. Hell, just look at my video defending Canon Cotton if you want an example, or any of my Stovia videos. So, of course, Val herself was one person who got butthurt about the video, and that's basically all she talks about on Twitter, from apparently living rent-free in Coyote's head, to hassling him on a regular basis, to making friggin' threads on him, and even accusing him of being an abuser. I mean, Val, I don't know if you know this, but you do realize that without solid evidence, you're basically defaming Coyote's name, and potentially getting him at risk of getting friggin' arrested or worse. By the way, you're claiming, and by you, I mean that you and your supporters are claiming that Coyote is defaming you. If that were really true, then you doing the same thing would not make you look any better. It makes you look like a hypocrite. But oh no, it gets worse, because one of these assholes got so salty that they even dug up Coyote's info and threatened to dox him. In fact, I think they actually did dox him. So, you do realize, when you pull shit like that, when you put somebody at an even bigger risk than calling them an abuser, that's kinda a yikes from me. And it just shows how sensitive you are. I mean, seriously, you're not above doxing, and you're not above making videos trying to say that zoo sexuality is valid just because you got called out for being a zoophile. And also, there's this, I don't even know what to say. But the thing is, alright, when you do things like that, it's worse than calling them an abuser, because one at worst gets him cancelled for life and thrown in jail, and the other can get him or his family potentially hurt or killed. I swear, it's shit like this that make me wish the purge was real, because I don't think I can go another day dealing with people like that without having at least some way to vent that anger out. But now that we've got the whole ranting segment out of the way, I'm just gonna cap off the video with the outro, so let's just move on to there. Okay, so working on this script, recording the video, and just generally looking through everything it's killed off my brain cells and my faith in humanity. Because the fact that people like this exist have just killed off my hope for us as a species. We're doomed to live with these idiots forever. If there's one thing to take away from this, though, it's that Sappho still does not deserve a platform to speak. She's not above harassing people, she's not above preying on people, and she's certainly not above having others do her dirty work. It seriously baffles me how people like her get to exist and have a following, yet those who speak out against said people are silenced, harassed, and even put in literal danger. But I guess that's nothing new for Twitter society, is it? And I just really want to say, Sappho, if you are watching this, just screw off, go get therapy, go get some help, because this behavior clearly is not normal at all. But if you for some reason like this video, go ahead, like, subscribe, check out everything in the description, including my Discord server, because I kind of want more people to join that. Anyways, this has been Nursery Quartza, and I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely day, and happy Halloween. Go ahead, trick or treat, do whatever, just enjoy your life. This has been Quartza, signing out. Have a good one, lads.